Hi, my name is Jasmine and I am an adult beginner figure skater, and I love to document my realistic progress and the tips and exercises that I learn. So, come join me for my 3-hour skate practice.
Hey y'all, it's another day at the rink, and I think they total there's 4 other people who got on the ice. So I'm gonna get started with warming up.
My lesson is in 30 minutes, so I need to warm up fast. I'm starting with some squizzles, then I did some side lunge reach across thingies, which are getting deeper, like I'm starting to touch my toes now, yay! Then I did some backwards snowplow stops, and some forward snowplow stops, which are getting easier to do with speed. I noticed my ankles felt stiff, so I did some ankle lunge stretches, followed by some squats to activate my core and glutes. Then I did forward pumps around the circle 30 times on each side. My pumps look much more powerful than the last couple of weeks, and they have more speed too. And then I went on to practice some more skills, starting with forward crossovers. I'm starting off with some exercises on the wall. I really want to get a stronger push and extension, so I'm putting a huge focus on that. I did variations where I would push as far as I could and then do a leg lift, and then I held the leg lift position for a while. Then I built on that and held extension for the second push. What are some of your favorite crossover exercises? Let me know in the comments below. And of course, I did these exercises on the other side too. Then I did some crossovers on the circle. These exercises have really corrected my first push to a blade push instead of a toe push. My under push still turns into a toe push on this side though. I also need to work on completely crossing my feet on both sides, but that will come with practice and mindfulness. The under push on this side is better though, so yay! Then I worked on my forward outside edges. They started off a little rocky, but they got better quickly. They've honestly improved so much since I started working on these a few weeks ago. I'm basically trying to trace semicircles with each foot. My left outside edge lasts almost for a full semicircle now, and my right side lasts for about half a semicircle, which is a huge improvement, so I'm quite proud of myself. I just need to bend my ankles more and correct my posture because I lean way too far forward. Now I'm practicing my 1-foot spin. I briefly started learning these last week when I was about to leave the rink, so these attempts are not so great. But that's okay because I'm going to work on these with my coach in a few minutes, so I'll check back in with you guys after my lesson. Alright, so I had my lesson and I'm back to working on 1-foot spin. It already looks so much better than before, like I'm getting half to 1.5 rotations and it looks more stable. Some of them are still flopping like crazy, but progress isn't linear, baby, okay? And every mistake gives me new information that I can use to learn, so it's all part of the process. This spin flopped, but I still tried to do a landing position afterward because I thought that would be cool, but my balance was off. So I tried it again on a 2-foot spin and that one was better. Then I decided to practice my pivots because I thought that would help with my spin entry, but also I need to work on my pivots since I neglect them a lot and my coach called me out on it. So anyway, this is me being a good student. I know this camera angle sucks, but I can tell that they're getting smoother and easier because the motion is much more continuous. Okay, back to 1-foot spin because it's my new hyperfixation. Even though the control is off, I think working on the pivot helped me generate more spin and speed because I'm still spinning after my foot drops, which wasn't happening before. It just goes to show how much it helps to break things down into their many parts. Okay, I need to move on to backward crossovers, but I will be working on these again later. I'm starting with the backward push exercise, and it's so much stronger. Like, do y'all see how long I'm holding this glide with my leg extended forward? I am sat, like so stable. I wasn't doing this the last couple of weeks, so I'm so proud of myself. Like, the progress is real. Then I did my crossovers, which are looking much more rhythmic and controlled. Then I did the other side, which is also looking less rushed now too. But oof, after that, my quads and glutes were on fire. I also worked on backward inside edges of my coach today. Last week I was so lost with these, but I'm slowly getting a better idea of how to hold these edges. Like I'm starting to make bigger semicircles. They're still small and I can't complete them, but the shape is starting to be traced so they look less like basic backward skating. And sometimes I can even hold them for most of the semicircle on my right foot, so yay! Now I'm working on my 1-foot glides in a more Arabesque position because my coach wants to switch some glides in my program to these. By the way, I shared my program last week so you can check it out right here if you missed it. But yeah, these are not quite spirals because I'm bending my skating knee and my extended leg isn't at hip height, but they're helping me get ready for spirals and I feel pretty when I do them. And then I worked on my spiral stretch. I want to be able to do spirals soon, so it's important for me to stretch for them even if I'm not quite there yet. I need to work on pointing my toes and I also need to correct my hip position. I'm back to working on 1-foot spin because I really want to get this down. There are still some complete flops, but they're more consistently getting at least one rotation now. And I also started bringing my arms in sometimes, which worked really well sometimes. And other times, not so much. It looks like it comes out better when I just bring my hands together, but it's just tricky to remember when to bring my foot up while coordinating bringing my arms in and then balancing on my rocker. Like, it's a lot to think about. I'm going to figure this out though. We learn by doing and correcting as we go. Then I worked on my 3 turns. On my right side, I'm able to hold my leg up for a bit after the turn, but it just comes to a stop, so I have to drop it to push off again. And the left side is still struggling with staying up at all. And I just gave up on this one. It'd be like that sometimes. Anyway, let's do some backward 2-foot turn exercises. There's this one I've been doing for a while where I practice lifting my toes, but my coach also gave me a new exercise today. On the wall, I'm practicing turning my head, switching my arms, and sitting into my heels, and then lifting my toes and turning. In that order. I mess it up all the time, so I'm muttering it to myself like a crazy person because I'm hoping that will help me get it right for once. Let's do some Waltz jumps. I'm doing some on the wall, of course. And then I isolated the jump portion, like swinging my knee up and hopping onto the other foot into a landing position. And then I was like, cool, let's try it off the wall today. And I chickened out of that one. This one went off camera, but it failed. And then I tried again, and you guessed it, it failed. So I noped out of those for today, but I'll be back at it next time. Will I finally land my Waltz jump off the wall next week? Watch this video to find out, and if it's not up yet, hit subscribe so you don't miss it, and catch up with my progress in the meantime. Thanks for watching, bye!